back at it again with another reaction video. Today we'll be reacting to the luckiest people who survive the impossible. All right, now this from the Paint Explainer. I'm pretty sure I reacted to his videos like a long time ago, so it's been a minute, but his videos be hard, so we're gonna react to this. We're gonna see these lucky people, see who these lucky people are.
Stephen, an experienced truck driver from New Zealand, was working on his truck. He was positioned between the truck's bumper and the trailer when something crazy happened. He slipped and fell, but something felt off. He didn't feel just regular pain. He felt his body inflating like a balloon, nearly doubling in size. His colleagues and
he just fell, right?
Crazy happened. He slipped and fell, but something felt off. He didn't feel just regular pain. He felt his body inflating like a balloon, nearly doubling in size. His colleagues and his son rushed to help him, quickly realizing what had actually happened. Stephen had fallen onto the brass valve that supplies compressed air to the truck's brakes. The valve punctured his bum, forcing pressurized air into his body. They immediately shut off the air supply, laid him on the ground, and called an ambulance. Unfortunately, both emergency vehicles in the area were occupied, forcing him to wait in that state for an entire hour. When he finally arrived at the hospital, doctors understood the severity of his condition. The air had separated fat tissue from muscle, filling his abdomen, chest, and even the spaces around his lungs, heart, and behind his eyelids. To help him breathe, doctors inserted a tube through his ribs and into his lungs. As for the trapped air, it had to be expelled naturally through farts, a process that took 3 days. Stephen made a full recovery, and
This nigga was farting for 3 days straight? Bro, I'm not gonna lie, I know that room stink, boy. I know that room stinks, bro. 3 days straight. Hopefully they had a good ass fan in there, bro. Hell no.
Doctors later determined that if the valve had punctured another part of his body, it could have damaged a blood vessel, and he would have died.
That's crazy. Okay, that's crazy. So you telling me this nigga was working on his truck? You telling me this nigga was working on his truck? He fell down. Air had went up this nigga ass, and he just turned into Mr. Fantastic. That is insane. That nigga need to be in Marvel Hours.
Joan Murray was an experienced skydiver, having already.
We gon' watch all these and see who was the luckiest out of all of them.
Completed 35 jumps. It was supposed to be just another routine dive, and as she plummeted at 120 miles per hour,
anybody attached?
I say attempted
because
it didn't open. After multiple tries, she reached for her reserve parachute, which, to her relief, deployed successfully. However, another problem quickly arose. She began spinning uncontrollably, causing the parachute's cords to tangle into a knot, rendering it useless. She crashed into the ground at 80 miles per hour, and upon impact, she heard a loud crack before losing consciousness. Joan fell into a coma and was rushed to the hospital, where doctors performed multiple complex reconstructive surgeries and blood transfusions. The entire right side of her body was crushed, yet incredibly, 2 weeks later, she woke up from the coma and made a full recovery. The reason she survived was just crazy. By pure chance, she landed directly on a fire ant nest, disturbing the venomous ants. In response, they came out of their nests and swarmed her body, stinging and biting her over 200 times. Fire ant venom, known as solanopsin, stimulates the nervous system. The overwhelming amount of it that was injected into her body kept her heart beating until paramedics arrived, saving her life.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie, that might take the cake. Bro, that is so random. Nah, God work in mysterious ways. What the fuck? Okay.
Margaret was a young Canadian woman who had just married her husband, Herbert, in 1915. To celebrate, they decided to take a trip and boarded the RMS Lusitania in New York City, bound for
like Titanic.
They were enjoying their trip, having a routine dinner on the ship, when suddenly they heard a loud boom.
It is the Titanic.
Torpedoed by a German submarine. Herbert immediately escorted his wife Margaret to a lifeboat, where she was joined by 3 other women and a baby. However, as she looked up, she saw the ship's massive smokestacks above them, and she feared they might collapse onto their lifeboat. In a moment of panic, she climbed back up the stairs to the deck, while Herbert, believing she was safe, boarded another lifeboat with other passengers. As the Lusitania rapidly sank, Margaret tried to swim away from the wreckage, but her efforts were in vain. A whirlpool formed as the ship submerged, pulling her and 2 other men into one of the smokestacks.
Oh, no, I know that. Bro, that's like a movie scene.
Explosion from below blasted her back to the surface, where she was spotted and rescued.
Wait!
A sudden explosion from below blasted her back to the surface, where she was spotted and rescued by a nearby lifeboat. As she looked around, she saw Herbert in another
So you telling me She got sucked in by an underwater tornado, went into a smoke pipe, then the explosion boosted her like a like a cannon and just bro, nah. This some Mission Impossible shit.
Lifeboat crying, believing she had died. Julie McSorley.
That is insane.
Julie
bro.
McSorley and Liz Cottrell were kayaking in San Luis Obispo, California, drawn by a spectacular event: humpback whales feeding on fish in the bay. There were lots of
Wait, did her husband stay alive?
tourists on their boats and kayaks watching the whole thing. And even though whale watching is a popular activity, it comes with important safety precautions. Experts recommend staying at least. A tightly packed swarm of fish, known as a bait ball, suddenly moved alarmingly close to them. But they weren't the only ones to notice. Their presence had also caught the attention of a humpback whale. Before they had time to react, the whale lunged forward to swallow the fish. But in the process, it also scooped up Julie.
No
and Liz.
way.
Trapped inside its massive mouth, they probably thought that they were about to be swallowed whole. After all, humpback whales can grow up to 56 feet long, a huge size from a human perspective. However, despite their enormous mouths,
bro, this is literally shit that like niggas write in movies. I bet you at least one movie scene was like they took from one of these because this junk is crazy. Imagine getting swallowed by a whale, nigga. I'll be fearing for my life. I'll be on that whale tongue on my knees praying nigga out like just like this right before I hit that nigga's stomach, bro. Oh my.
Humpback whales have relatively small throats, only about the size of a human fist, and capable of stretching to just 15 inches in diameter. They also lack teeth, meaning the two women weren't crushed. Luckily, a whale's natural instinct is to spit out anything that isn't fish, and that's exactly what happened.
That's
Moments
crazy.
later, Julie and Liz were spat out
They can literally say they've been in a whale mouth before. That is insane.
from the whale's mouth and surfaced unharmed. Matthew Lowe. Matthew was heading to his factory for a routine shift, just like any other day. Upon arriving, he immediately got to work. As he walked past an automated conveyor belt, he suddenly felt his overalls snag on something. Unfortunately, it was the conveyor itself. Before he could react, he was pulled onto the belt and dragged toward a 5-inch opening. Within seconds, his entire body was forced through the narrow tunnel. He could hear the cracks of his bones as the machine spat him out on the other side. Miraculously, he remained conscious. Matthew's agonizing screams alerted his coworkers, who rushed to the scene. What they saw was horrifying. His back was broken in 2 places, his pelvis, ribs, and hips were nearly completely crushed, and his abdomen was severely
Bro, that
torn.
nigga not
He was
lucky.
rushed to the
What are you
hospital,
talking
but
about?
doctors had little hope for his survival. They even advised his partner to prepare for the worst. However, against all odds, Matthew survived. After 6 surgeries and a month in the hospital, he slowly began to recover. 18 months later,
He was
made a
able to
full
walk?
recovery and even returned to work.
No
Taiba.
way.
Taiba,
Nah,
a
he
young
is-
Indian
he
girl,
lucky, he
went out
lucky.
for a walk when she came across a construction site.
You tell me all the
Intrigued,
bones in
she
your
decided-
body, all the bones in the body break and you make a full recovery. People don't even get that with like I don't even know with like knee injuries. They don't make no full recovery over there.
A young Indian girl went out for a walk when she came across a construction site. Intrigued, she decided to explore the area. The site was filled with debris and half-finished structures, making it extremely risky to navigate, especially without proper equipment or experience. As she walked through the site, she tripped and fell neck first onto a long metal rod protruding from a brick. Bystanders witnessed the horrifying scene and immediately called for an ambulance. When Taiba arrived at the hospital, doctors were left stunned. Miraculously, the rod had missed all vital nerves and blood vessels in her head. After a 35-minute surgery, doctors successfully removed the rod. Amazingly, she was discharged just 3 days later. Had she fallen just a few inches further forward, she would have died. Frayne,
I'm not gonna lie, she might be the luckiest, bro. This is actually hard to figure out who the luckiest is. I'm just gonna give a top 3.
is an elderly music teacher from Croatia, and he's both the luckiest and unluckiest man on earth. His first crazy experience happened in 1962 when he was on a train.
So you tell this nigga had 2 experiences. He might be the luckiest.
A fault in the tracks caused the train to derail and plunge into the freezing river below. Most passengers either died in the crash or drowned in the submerged train.
No way.
But Frayne miraculously survived with only a broken arm and managed to swim to shore. In 1963,
that nigga is a beast. He swam to shore with a broken arm. Most black niggas can't even swim. I'm not one of them. I can swim, nigga. I'd be Michael Phelps, but with a broken arm, nah, you got me. I'm just gonna sink down, but you got it.
Just
gonna
a
set
year
my feet.
after the
No
train
cap.
incident, he was on a small plane when,
Broken arm
mid-flight,
is
both
crazy.
engines failed. As the aircraft went into a free fall, a malfunctioning door blew open, yanking Frayne out of the plane. Without a parachute, he must have thought he was going to die. The plane crashed into a hill, killing all 19 passengers on board. However, Frayne survived by landing on a haystack, escaping with only minor injuries. 2 years later, in 1965, he
Three?
was traveling on a bus that was crossing a bridge.
I thought it was only 2. So he was.
The icy conditions caused the bus's wheels to lock up, sending the vehicle crashing through the safety barrier and into the valley below. 4 passengers lost their lives, yet Frayne survived once again. After multiple accidents involving...
I'm not, bro. If I'm in 3 accidents that involve transportation, nigga, I'm just gonna ride a bike for the rest of my life. I'm not gonna care, or just stay home. Cause God trying to tell you, maybe you need to stop taking trains and planes and ships, and no, bro, just stay your ass home. That's what he trying to tell you. Stay your ass home.
Public
I'm
transportation.
surprised you're not scared to go outside after that.
Decided to rely on his own car, only to find that it wasn't any safer. In 1970, while driving, his engine suddenly burst into flames. Miraculously, he managed to jump out in time and survive.
A car, bro. Just
This
not.
wasn't his only brush with fire. 3 years later, in 1973, while driving another car, the fuel pump ruptured, causing yet another fire.
Hell no,
This time,
bro.
the flames were blown directly toward him through the air vents. Despite
This
suffering
nigga doing this
burns,
junk
he
on
once
purpose,
again
man.
managed to escape. As if that weren't enough, in 1975, he survived being hit by a bus. Then, just a year later, he had another near-death
Bro,
experience.
this nigga can't catch a break. Bro, this nigga can't catch a break. Bro, I swear, if that was me, nigga, I'm staying my ass home, bro. Nigga, I'm gonna be like that nigga from NHK, but without the weird shit. No.
When his car fell off a mountain road, plummeting 300 feet after a careless
Hell
driver
no.
forced him off the road. The car exploded upon impact, but Frayne managed to survive by jumping out of the vehicle's window mid-fall and landing on a tree. And by the way,
What?
he won the lottery in 2003.
What?
If you liked this video, subscribe for similar ones.
Yeah, he
or
got
join my
it.
Discord
I'm not
to
gonna lie,
suggest-
we don't even gotta talk about nobody else. That nigga got it. He was in 5 instances where the nigga got either hit by a car or fucking sunk by a plane. I don't even know what I'm saying, but that nigga got it, bro. That nigga got it. Hey, thank you for watching the video. Clap it up for yourself. What's it called? If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell me any other videos you want me to react to. I'll react to anything, you know what I'm saying? I'll see if I can get to it. Also stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/KJN4K. We we do music reactions, do regular reactions. We play games. We make music sometime. And we do, you know what I'm saying, anime content. I'm live every other day. So go ahead and check me out over there. And without further ado, I bid you adieu, all my amazing people out there. 4K.